Hi everyone, I'm Eric, and I'm here today to talk to you about change, and really change on a small scale, and how everyone in this room has the power to have an impact in the world around them, whether they think so or not, right? And I will be giving this talk a lot from the student perspective, right? I'm a student, giving this talk at a high school, so it'll be easy to relate to, but I want to really make the point that this is applicable to everyone and everyone and anyone in the audience. Right, I would like to start by saying that when you're a student, right, when you're 14, 15, 16, 17, when you're in high school, most of your life is about things you cannot do, right? Most of us live somewhat dependent lives with our families, right? A lot of us don't have like a career or a substantial source of income. A lot of us can't drive, whether it be that we don't have our license yet or cars are expensive, right? So I feel that students are told, and really kids, are told that much of their life, much of their life they can't control, and a lot of it is about things they cannot do, right? And I feel like this sort of bleeds into other areas of their life, like say in community and community-based problems, right? And I think this kind of contributes to and helps to develop this mentality of a little fish in a big pond, right? And what I mean by that is that people feel small and insignificant, right? They're just one of many. And this really kills change, right? It kills your ability to have a change on the world around you. And I'm here to talk to you today about why this really shouldn't be, and we really can't afford to be like this, and why everyone out here can have a change in the world around them. And that change doesn't have to be difficult, right? So I'd like to start right off giving an example of how change doesn't have to be difficult. With a question, right? How many of you in here can hold a baby or think they could hold a baby if given, like a human baby, like a small baby just born, right? I want to see a show of hands, right? Okay, basically everyone, right? So can we all agree, can we all be in accord that holding a baby is not a difficult action, right, by any means, really? I mean, maybe if they're fussy, but still. Right, but I'm here to tell you that something as simple as holding a baby can have a profound impact in the lives of children, right? So a few high schoolers and I in the local area are going to be spending a few hours of our week, every week, cuddling babies in the neonatal intensive care unit, right? And something as simple as holding a baby is going to contribute profoundly to their life, for it will help the babies grow. On average, we were told in orientation that a baby exposed to positive human touch will grow 47% more than a baby who is not, when the caloric intake is remain constant. And it also contributes profoundly to the development of their prefrontal cortex and their brain and their capacity for language, right? So we are going to be helping these babies, the rate at which they get out of the hospital on time, the rate at which they don't have to go back to the hospital, and the rate at which they, can kind of start their life on time, right? Because babies in the NICU are born with a rough start at life, right? So as great as this is, right, as awesome babies are, it's not about the babies, right? It's about that a simple or insignificant action can be linked to a profound effect, right? And these are all over. This link between insignificant action and a significant response are frequent throughout your life, or throughout your daily existence. But they're not always super easy to spot, but they're easy to create, right? So one of the areas that I want to talk about real quick, that every single person in this room possesses power, is at the grocery store, right? And a lot of people don't think of it right away, because every single time you walk into the grocery store, you are presented with a wide variety of options, right? Things you can choose to buy or choose not to buy. And everything that every decision that you make will speak loudly about yourself and the environment around you, right? I'm going to give an example. Some products at the store contain palm oil, right? Unsustainably harvested palm oil. And for those of you that know me pretty well, you're probably laughing a little inside because this is something I talk about a lot, right? Well, palm oil, unsustainably harvested palm oil, it's a really serious thing, and it can cause mass deforestation worldwide, right? And as good as a person you are, every time that you choose to buy a product that has palm oil in it, unsustainably harvested, you're silently endorsing a company's, the way in which they brought this product to the market, right? And I'm here to talk about how really companies know themselves, right? So a company will know what sells and what doesn't, right? So in choosing not to buy something, right, you're kind of sending a message to the company, or by choosing to buy something, you're sending a message, right? And I would like to say that, I'm not trying to argue that just myself choosing to boycott a product that has palm oil in it, or even this auditorium choosing to boycott a product with palm oil in it is going to take whatever product is off the shelves or run any companies out of business. I'm not arguing that. But I do think that we need to be conscious of this little fish in a big pond mentality, because people get stuck in this rut, right? This rut where they're like, it's just me at the grocery store, making these decisions, and it's just me trying to do this. A good example is voting, right? A lot of people, you hear the term like a wasted vote a lot, right? What's a wasted vote? You're still voting, right? But that is a perfect example of what the little fish in the big pond mentality is, because people feel insignificant and that they can't make a change in the world. And I'm here today to tell you that that is false, and that you can, and that change doesn't have to be difficult, right? So with that being said, what are we doing at STEM, right? I want to talk a little about what we're doing at STEM, right? So I'm going to take you back, a quick preface to over the summer when kind of all this got, started moving in my head. And I talked to a lot of my fellow peers, a lot of teachers, and a lot of my family, right, about things that I saw in the world and what I wanted to do about it, right? And I really learned two things from these conversations. And the first is that the little fish in a big pond mentality is ever present in our world, right? A lot of kids, this is their everyday. They either they recognize or they don't, but it's really with them. Because it's difficult to be a single student with an idea, right? It's difficult to be a student who wants to bring about a change or a project to their school, because kids kind of feel insignificant. They feel like they're just one of many, right? So that's one thing I learned. And the second thing I learned is that kids have a lot of really good ideas, and they're really passionate about a lot of things. I was genuinely surprised and honestly inspired by some of the conversations I had just with kids that are my age or younger than me about things, and a wide variety of things that they're passionate about. Some kids told me their ideas and beliefs, and I was like, I've never heard of that before. That's really cool. That's really considerate, right? However, these things, it's somewhat unfortunate that they exist together, right? The fact that people feel like they can't make a change, but really they have really good ideas and really bold aspirations, right? So I wanted to make a solution to this, right? So the Sustainability Advancement Society was born, right? So what is the Sustainability Advancement Society, or SAS? SAS is a club at STEM, but really it's more than that. It's an organization, it's an idea, it's a concept, right? And essentially what it is it's a place where students can come together and use the passion and the dedication of their peers as a resource, right? They have extra brains and extra hands to help bring their ideas to fruition. But what is this? Like, what does that represent, right? That represents getting yourself away from the little fish in a big pond mentality, because not a single student in SAS feels that they are small. They know personally that they can have a change on the world around them. And so far, really, that has kind of played itself out. As of current, SAS has 76 functioning members from 10 a few months ago. Probably like 2 months ago before school started. We went from 10 to 76, and we're one of STEM's larger clubs now, and we are pushing out a full program to STEM about self-sufficiency. We plan on building a garden at STEM, thanks to administration for approving that. We plan on fixing the recycling system at STEM, bringing composting to STEM, and really what's really exciting is going out to the community and talking to elementary schools, other high schools, and businesses about what sustainability is and what are the things that we care about. Because again, it's not necessarily about the specific sustainability. It's not about the babies, and it's not about the grocery store. It's about knowing that you can make a change in the world, right? Because this mentality of a little fish in a big pond can really stunt all your progress or all your change that you want to bring about. Right, so now with that being said, right, with the 2 points that I've made, you have the power to change the world around you, and change doesn't have to be difficult. So someone listening to this might be like, that's cool, but now what, right? So when talking to kids about this, or really anyone about this, I normally say two things. And the first is, when you want to have a change in the world around you, or when you want to bring about a change or an impact, first, pick something that you're passionate about. Pick something that you care about, right? What's going to get you up in the morning and motivate you to go out and make a difference? Because I'm a personal believer that it is increasingly important, or it's ever important, to do what you love, right? And I feel like if you're going to have a significant impact in the world around you, you need to be doing something that you truly care about and you're dedicated to, you're personally invested in, right? And the second thing from that is to kind of do a quick look at yourself, who you are, and where you are in the world, right? What kind of person are you? What do you like to do? What are your resources? Like, what are your talents? So think about, are you the person who likes to get up and talk? Are you the person who likes to draw or build or design, right? Are you a person who has a lot of time or money at your disposal? Like, what resources do you bring to the table? And how can you use these to make a change in the world, right? And one of the things that I really want to touch upon is that change isn't about resources, right? It's not about, who has the money or who has the time, right? Because the Sustainability Advancement Society, the SAS, I can tell you right now, we don't have any more time than any other clubs. We don't have any more money than any other clubs. We don't have any more teachers than any other clubs. But we do get ourselves away from the little fish in the big pond mentality. So when you're going about making change in your world, and when you've picked what you want, where you want to have an impact in, because by the way, there's plenty of areas that could use some help, like for example, help and support for those with mental illness, help and support for those with special needs or disabilities, care for the elderly, right? The food bank, right? Even voting, right? All these areas could use people who care about them. So it's important to pick what you like, right? So once you've chosen what you want to do, and then start to have an idea of how you want to do it, I encourage every one of you to kind of do what we do at SAS and take yourself away from the little fish in the big pond mentality, and always remember and never forget that you can have a change in the world around you. Because once you truly believe and you know inside that I can have a change in the world around me through however I choose, right, that is when you'll be able to accomplish big things. Thank you.